Just ahead on American Black Journal, a unique educational partnership is coming to Detroit. I'm going to talk with some of the key partners in that new project that will educate students from the cradle to career. Plus, a spoken word artist from Detroit teaches about the power of words. American Black Journal starts now.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.
Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. A $50 million commitment from the Kresge Foundation is creating a one-of-a-kind educational center in Detroit. The P20 partnership is going to offer pre-K through graduate school studies, along with wraparound services and community programs on the Marygrove College campus. The center will also include the first ever teaching school modeled after doctoral residency programs led by the University of Michigan. The project has several partners, and I'm pleased to have some of them here with us today. Wendy Lewis-Jackson is from the Kresge Foundation. Dr. Nikolai Vidi is superintendent of the Detroit Public Schools Community District, and Dr. Kendra Hearn is with the University of Michigan School of Education. Welcome, all of you, to American Black Journal.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so very big announcement when this came down. Talk about where the idea comes from and what you hope to accomplish, the many things I know you hope to accomplish with this.
Well, as you know, the Kresge Foundation has a long history in the city of Detroit, and through our Detroit program, in 2016, we made a little bit of a pivot with the help of our leadership and trustees to begin to focus more on neighborhoods. So neighborhoods are really now at the center of our work. It's not everything that we do in the city, but it is going to be a significant focus for us over the next 5 years. And as a result of that shift or that expansion, we got a call from Marygrove College, I think fall of 2016, and began to talk with them about some of the challenges that they were having. Financially and also with enrollment. But we also began to talk about kind of what is the next iteration or transformation opportunity for the school, and the idea of really being a neighborhood anchor with a transformational education agenda started as a part of those conversations.
Yeah, and the idea of P20 is something that I see and read about in some places, but this is a major experiment under that rubric, right? I mean, this is pushing us out in front of a lot of other communities.
Well, as part of our focus on neighborhoods at the Kresge Foundation, we're not looking at it as an experiment, but more around how do you position education as an anchor in the city's recovery and ongoing transformation. And we're just thrilled to be able to make this investment. It's $50 million in this project, and it is the largest neighborhood investment in the city of Detroit ever.
Wow.
And we're thrilled to be able to partner with Detroit Public Schools Community District, the University of Michigan, Starfish, Marygrove, to get it started.
Yeah, Dr. Vidi, I remember when you came to town, you talked about trying to come up with really innovative programs and ideas that would attract people back to the public schools, help you compete with charter schools who are trying to draw kids away. Is this the kind of thing you had in mind?
Not precisely, but something like it. So this for us addresses so many gaps and challenges all into one initiative, and I think what we're trying to do is how to try to create a better synergy in everything that we're trying to do, so you address and attack multiple challenges at once. And I think this initiative does that. On the one hand, it strengthens our portfolio of school offerings by having a pre-K to 20 school on a college campus.
Right.
So instantly we're going to be able to compete in the Detroit landscape, I think, at a higher level. Not only, I think we're doing that through CAS and Renaissance and other high schools and K-8s, but now this offers one more, competitive with charter schools and private schools in the area. We know we have 30,000 students every day that live in Detroit but go outside of the city limits to be educated. So I think this positions us to try to recapture some of those students. But in addition to that, it allows us to go deeper on STEM initiatives. It allows us to think deeper about early learning and a continuity of learning. And then very excited about the University of Michigan partnership, because it allows us to start to address the pipeline issue with teachers and to begin to create a model that I think can be scaled, where we give the teachers the experience, the time, the support to develop professionally. We have to move away from the days of just throwing someone who has the right heart and the right intentions into the classroom and hoping that they'll make it. And we know statistically that's not happening with the same consistency that it once did, with people coming into the profession and leaving for something else. And one of the reasons for that is we don't properly support people when they come in the profession. The medical field does that the right way. So modeling the residency program off that model is exactly what we're trying to do. And although right now it may start with just a Marygrove initiative, but what we learn from this initiative as far as teaching and supporting new teachers is something that we think can be expanded over time, and not just about teachers. It can move into social work, it can move into psychology, it can move into other wraparound services, and even medical services, dental service, for example, we've been talking about. So it's a pipeline to address teaching in other areas in the school district. And so we're just excited to be offered this opportunity. Usually this happens with charter schools.
Yes.
Usually it happens with private schools because people are afraid of the bureaucracy and red tape that's connected to DPSCD, but I do think it's a new day. And this type of commitment that Kresge has made has now actually started more conversations with other philanthropic groups and even companies that are saying, well, if Kresge's willing to put $50 million, then it might be time for us to do the same thing. And this is how we're going to revitalize not only the city, but education.
The University of Michigan's involvement here was something of a wild card, I think, for a lot of people. They thought, wow, that's interesting. Talk about why Detroit for the University of Michigan School of Education, but then talk about this idea of a residency for teachers that looks like the kind of residencies we use to train doctors.
So why Detroit? The University of Michigan, and especially the School of Education, have deep commitments to Detroit. If nothing else, it's the birthplace of the university.
Absolutely.
We view our work as being community-oriented and holistic, right? So we wanted to make an impact, put our scholarship to practice in a place where it would really matter. So that's why Detroit, in a nutshell. In terms of the residency, our teacher education program has used a bit of the medical training model in how we prepared interns over the course of about 5 years, where they do clinical rounds and have the opportunity to be an intern, which is pre-student teaching, in a variety of settings, with the idea that we're preparing them to work with diverse populations, well-resourced, lower resource schools, and so forth. This will extend the residency or the clinical rounds model to include a residency. So they will go through the first program or first year of the program as interns, as they otherwise would. But then, as Dr. Vitti mentioned, we'll continue to support them for 3 additional years as residents. So they'll be fully employed teachers that have the advantage of still receiving professional development and support from our school.
Yeah. Talk some about Marygrove. That's in a neighborhood that Kresge has a significant interest and investment in already. Talk about how this fits in with the other things that you're already doing, To me, it kind of calls on the Harlem Children's Village model, and I don't know if that's my idea. I don't know if it's yours, but talk about this sort of big footprint over there.
Well, with our expanded focus on neighborhood revitalization in the city, we're focusing on 3 areas, with the neighborhood as the unit of change and the unit of opportunity, quite candidly. And so we're investing quite a bit, and this is citywide, we're investing quite a bit in capacity building, investing in the organizations that are actually on the ground in neighborhoods doing the work. So community development organizations, block clubs, and intermediaries that are focused on neighborhood change and revitalization. We're also supporting kind of what we call systems building, and early childhood development is one of the systems that we, in partnership with a number of other philanthropies in Detroit, have identified opportunities to strengthen and support. And I think the last time I was here, I talked with you about our early childhood partnership with the Kellogg Foundation.
Right.
And then that third pillar focuses on particular areas of the city. And the Livernois 6 Mile community, set of communities, is an area where we're going to be and have started to invest pretty significantly. Before the Mary Grove announcement, there was an investment in a new park, the Fitzgerald Park.
Yeah. I see people there in the middle of the day, hanging out, playing basketball. It's like completely changed life over there.
And that's been in partnership with the city of Detroit. But there are other small business development opportunities that we're looking at to start to strengthen and revitalize the commercial corridors along 6 Mile in Livernois. But Mary Grove, and this project in particular, is really the centerpiece of how a neighborhood can begin to reposition itself, and with education as the anchor for neighborhood change.
Yeah. They had a community meeting to let parents come and express their interest in the school. I heard there was 200 families there. I think that really shows how hungry families in the city are for better opportunities, alternatives.
Well, people often ask me, what does the vision look like 5, really 10 years from now when you've reached a point of full rebuilding? And one thing that I say is, for me, what that looks like is that parents with school-aged children put their child in the neighborhood school. And I think when you look across this country, where parents are most involved, they pay higher taxes, they send their children to local schools, is when they have that faith. And I think when we think about the revitalization of the city, again, we can talk about stadiums, new buildings, downtown, redevelopment, midtown, and all the rest, but it's really about neighborhoods. And that's obviously been the pushback of where we are right now and where we need to go. But I think this initiative is about taking one neighborhood in the Mary Grove area, focus that reform on a school, and I think over time what we're going to see is that neighborhoods, that neighborhood will start to redevelop, and parents will say, I want my child to go to that school. And then again, it's trying to replicate that across the city, so that it's not, where am I going to send my child to school? It's, I'm going to send my child down the street and then down to the high school. And I can't think of anything else, because it's close to my home. We build that trust and relationship, and we have teachers living in the neighborhood as well, which is also the next step. But that's what revitalization and community really means, and that's the strength of traditional public education that we've lost with emergency management and choice without guardrails. But this is, I think, a start in a very specific neighborhood with lots of partners saying that they're going to put their shoulder to the wheel. And I think once we build success here, then it's not an argument anymore about whether it happens or it can happen. It's about now just getting more people to support the initiative and replicating it across the city. And that's how we build the city. I mean, I don't know how anyone can argue against that.
Right. We've got about 10 seconds left, but you hope to open this school in the fall of 2019, is that right?
So we're in conversations with Dr. Beatty and the university about opening the 9th grade to start in the fall.
That's exciting. I said that because I'm excited. I'm a Detroit parent. I think everybody understands how urgent that issue is. So thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Just ahead, a Detroit writer educates young people on the power of words. But first, we want to continue our look back at this program over the last 50 years. Here's a 1991 Detroit Black Journal discussion about black colleges.
Our history shows that we have always made bricks out of straw. And to work at an African American institution, you have to be committed. There has to be a lot of missionary in your soul. Because number one, there's not a lot of money, but there's so much reward. There is so much reward that money is, we are a capitalist nation, and so we think a standard of success is money. I think your standard of success is what difference has your being on this land made.
All right. Absolutely. All right. Let's go to our phone lines, get another caller. Welcome, you're on Detroit Black Journal.
Yes, just a quick question. One of the gentlemen on your panel there made the distinction between education you received at black college and the training you received at non-black college.
That was me.
My question is he implying that if a black person attends a non-black college, is he receiving an inferior education? And if so, how does he account for the success of millions of people who attend these non-black colleges who basically control the economies of the world?
Mr. Vaughn, you
Well, I think that the gentleman who had kids who went to both type colleges answered his question. I said that at black colleges you can get an education. At white colleges you will more than likely just receive training. There's a difference between training and education. Now, we can all be successful, but education does not mean how much money you make. Education means to serve. That's the meaning of education. Most of us have a misconception about what education means. Education means to serve. And at black colleges, you're taught to serve.
Detroit spoken word artist Jamii Tata fell in love with writing and poetry when he learned it was a great way to express his feelings. Now he's giving back by educating young people on the power of language. Detroit Performs has his story.
You are the pride of the universe, saving trees by planting seeds in the minds of babes as well as the fertile ground we see.
Words are keys to communication.
And without words, without understanding words written and spoken, it's kind of hard to navigate your environment. Smog. We all fall. We all fall. But we get up. The sky falls. I am a writer, so I have written since I was little. I have learned the art of performance, poetry. This is my name. This is our name. You can't take it away. My inspiration is revolution. I am always about change. I see a lot of things that are not just, so I strive for justice, and I write about what it means to be a more sustainable, holistic, and caring world. I stand challenging traditions to allow for opportunities for women. Inside of my house and outside of my house, I had some challenges. So, I think being able to write from a place of authenticity, even though some of the things you say may be hard truth for others, that's okay. There is cowardice behind your actions. My potential to pass your potential scares your enterprise. The power behind your name will be lessened, along with the cars in your garage and your position in society. I have a lot of anger in me that I let out through my poetry. And being able to have that as an outlet is healthy, being able to write things that, matter to me and somehow they matter to other people too. Like, I'm not the only one that's been wrongly screwed over by this, that, and the other. I want fresh and organic vegetables in my neighborhood. I don't have that in the grocery stores, even outside of my neighborhood. That's an injustice. Why can't our kids have education? That's an injustice. Being able to talk about those things are like where my art, where my writing and my performance comes from. Through cooperative economics, we grow our own food. We build and own our own neighborhoods. We employ our own neighbors. We don't wait for others to give us value. In my household, I sometimes didn't have a voice. So poetry gave me an opportunity to have a voice. I journaled like 3 times a day. it saved my life many days. It, made me really able to think about where I wanted to be and that I wanted to be here on earth, continuing the work of sharing what it means to be a creator. It's one thing to do work, but if you do work that affirms your life, you'll do it forever. The train is an extension. The train extends the song. This is my name. This is our name. You can't take it away. I went to Detroit Public Schools. I went to King High School. Love King, love everything that I learned, love the people. But my educational journey was tumultuous, and I think I survived because of the support that I received supplementally outside of the school system. In 2005, one of the things that was dismaying to me was the systematic closing of schools. I thought they deserved more. I thought they deserved better. And it shouldn't start tomorrow, it should start today. All right, next word is what?
Adolescent.
All right, what does that mean? I founded No Allegiance Nation with the goal of building a nation of knowledge seekers, and we do that through consciousness raising and literacy attainment. So there's 3 pillars to our nation building work. So we have our basic literacy that we do through poetry and entrepreneurship. So we teach kids how to, write for themselves, basically affirming and creating self-worth. The second pillar is sort of our advanced literacy that we do through broadcast journalism. So I'm a community radio DJ, and I teach the young people about community radio DJing. So we are excited to kind of have our own mechanism to broadcast stories of Detroiters and Detroiters in Detroit neighborhoods and those voices that are marginalized like the young people. And then sort of the last pillar is survival literacy. We do that through agriculture and agrarianism. So we teach about land justice, we teach about food sovereignty, we teach about growing your own to feed yourself. I have 3 gardens that I grow at. We have a market, a community, and we have a healing butterfly garden that we manage. So we are going to add words to a circle. They can either be your words or they can be words from the dictionary. Every Tuesday and Friday we have the Illuminate Literacy Entrepreneur classes. The young people are being introduced to a dictionary. They have words of the day, and every day they come in, there's usually 2 or 3 words on the board, and they get a chance to write the definition, learn a part of speech, use it in a sentence, and use it in alliteration.
Active, attack, and asset.
I think it's basic skills that, everybody thinks they know, and the young people kind of support each other and just reaffirming that you don't have to know everything. And also, too, we're growing together. So just because you don't know this now don't mean you can't learn it and know it tomorrow.
Resilience means self-determination.
Beautiful. I think, the young people respect each other's space, and as artists, they're respecting the artist process of each of the young people that are in the room, but also they share their work so they can, share their alliterations, which sometimes be amazing. So they give the other students access to words that they didn't have access to. So they're building each other's vocabulary.
And I kept falling, and I got up because I was resilient.
Ooh, nice. In each class, we learn vocabulary, we write, and we go over performance techniques. And this evening, they're creating poems around being active, whatever that means to them.
I've been running ever since Sunset stopped selling Hope and started selling CDs to my shoppers. They call it lyrical healing.
He's a good teacher because sometimes he comes up with these ideas of writing that you would have never thought of. And here and there, he'll push you depending on what it is. And it'll make you better in doing poetry. Activate in 5, 4, 3, 2. It's time to make an impact, emphasizing the fact that change needs to happen, to not sit down and push back.
After they learn about journaling and then creating poems, they learn about putting it in a format that you can give to others, and then attaching a value to that. So putting a price on their poem, so then they can sell their poem. So they learn about value from self, and then they externalize that and become literacy entrepreneurs.
It's just crazy to think about that you could push yourself and others around you could push yourself and believe in you that much to the point where you have something to show everything that you've accomplished in this small period of time. If I wasn't in this program, I would have been lost. And it just makes it easier as a learning process. And it gives kids like an outlet pretty much to where they can just express themselves as they choose to, which is amazing.
The heart of my culture needs healing, but you can't heal an open wound when shots are constantly fired through.
Being able to, you know, create power and agency in young people and adults to tell their own stories and to create their own narratives through the power of language is why we do what we do.
My music degraded into some mess of jumbled words, but my liberty is still in need of liberation. Thank you.
That's our program for today. As always, thanks for watching. You can go to AmericanBlackJournal.org to get more information about our guests and to check out a calendar of upcoming events. Plus, you can always connect with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you next time.
As American Black Journal looks ahead at the next 50 years, we want to hear from you, the viewers. Tell us what you think of this program and what you'd like to see on future episodes. Visit AmericanBlackJournal.org to take a quick survey and share your opinion. Thank you.
Masco Corporation is proud to manufacture innovative and environmentally friendly products for the home. Delta faucets, craft-made in Merillat cabinets, and Behr brand paints have all been designed with you in mind. Masco and its family of companies, serving Michigan communities since 1929.
For nearly 100 years, Ally has been a part of Detroit, and we give back by volunteering and donating in our community. We have a commitment to diversity and increasing economic mobility in our hometown. At Ally, we're dedicated to doing it right every single day.